Hey y'all, welcome back.
It's Wednesday, so you know
We're winging it.
Today we're sitting down with our new friends, Karen and Phil. We're going to talk about their full-time journey, what's brought them here, their plans looking ahead, and we are definitely winging it because it's about to be a downpour, so we're going to try to get it in.
Texas weather.
So stay tuned. Okay, let's quickly review the rules of winging it. We set the timer on my phone, since we're with friends, to 15 minutes. We talk about the topic. When the timer goes off, we wrap things up. This is completely unedited, unscripted, and you get what you get. So, 15 minutes on the clock. We're winging it, and please hold off, Mother Nature.
Yes. Well, let's start off with tell everybody where y'all are from, which you RV in, and how long has your full-time journey been going?
Well, we just started. This is we describe it as our second season. We started full-time last year, and we are originally was born and raised in Phoenix, Arizona. Spent a little bit of time in Lake Havasu City, if anyone knows where that is, the home of the London Bridge, but pretty much raised in Phoenix my whole life. And then Karen is Hawaiian. She was born in Hawaii.
I was born and raised in Hawaii. Both my parents were born and raised in Hawaii as well. So they ended up settling in Northern California when I hit high school, and so I made it to Phoenix, and we met about 7 or 8 years ago, and got married. We're on what?
4 years.
You're 4 years.
Oh, okay,
4 years.
awesome.
I had to think about that.
Time flies when you're having fun.
So, what do y'all RV in?
We have a 2011 Monaco Diplomat. For anyone who's really into Monacos, the model is a PAQ42.
Yeah.
But it's a 2011 Monaco Diplomat.
Okay, and
43 feet of iron.
Yes.
yes, it is. It's beautiful.
And we're very fortunate because it is a diesel pusher, but we do not have to put DEF in it.
Yeah.
So we're
Oh yeah, pre-DEF.
Yeah.
Now, had y'all RV'd before, or?
No, that's one of the interesting things about this whole literally venture that we're on, is that we had never owned an RV ever, not even a pop-up trailer. We've never owned a camper or anything. And like you said, go bigger, go large or go home. But so yeah, we never owned anything, and here we are driving a 42-foot long tag axle Class A motor coach.
And how did you come to that?
Well, Phil had spent a very long career with the city of Phoenix. He was looking to retire, and I wanted something 180-degree difference from what he was doing.
Yep.
So we started we love to travel. We were thinking about doing different things internationally, domestically, and then we stumbled across RVing. I've always been fascinated by the life because I as a military girl, I have, nomadic feet, so we started looking at it a little bit more, and then we went to a couple of local RV shows. It piqued our interest. We thought, oh, it's affordable, and we ended up thinking, well, this is something we could do. Then, as we started getting closer to his retirement date, we started putting the feelers out about what we wanted and started defining, because it's hard to choose. You've got fifth wheels, you've got travel trailers, you've got Class A's, Class C's, Class B's, Super C's.
It's overwhelming.
It's so overwhelming to decide what you want, especially when we've never owned a vehicle before, owned an RV before.
And it was a little intimidating, obviously. I've never driven anything bigger than an 18-foot long U-Haul truck, and she's 42 feet, and we have the Jeep hooked in the back. She's over 60 feet long. But so we did take an RV driving school class, which was very beneficial. If you're ever in thinking about maybe getting an RV, but you've never driven anything this big, it can be intimidating. But we did take an RV driving class, and it really, really helped out.
Great.
And y'all both took that class.
We
did.
did.
We both took it. I drove for half the time. He drove for half the time. We learned how to, everything about swing and pivot points and things that we just never had any clue about. So it was interesting.
Now, circling back, you said military. Were you in the military?
No, my father was a 4-year veteran of the U.S. Air
Wow,
Force.
that's awesome.
He is Native Hawaiian, and he started his time in Hickam Air Force Base, which is a now retired base. And then he had a very interesting career in that he also was a athlete. So
An Olympic athlete. He was the
was-
Olympics.
Yeah, he was
Wow.
Yes.
What did he do?
He was a volleyball player.
That's awesome.
He was in the Tokyo Olympics.
Yeah,
Very,
exactly.
very
Oh,
cool.
Yeah.
that I've never met an Olympian before. I wish I would have met your dad.
My
Good guy.
dad was a kick in the pants. He was so fun. He was such a fun Hawaiian.
Now I know Phil's had an interesting career.
I have been. I actually am a veteran. I spent 4 years in the United States Navy between, I was referred to as the Ronald Reagan era, between 1981 and 1985. And then I got out, and then I was looking around for something to do, and being in the Navy was kind of exciting, and I wanted to kind of keep that up, so I joined the Phoenix Police Department. And
Wow.
I just retired a little over a year ago. Spent 33 years with the Phoenix Police Department, retired as a sergeant. 19 of those years I was a sergeant the entire time.
Wow.
So retired as a sergeant, and boy, that was obviously people have got their own opinions about their own profession, jobs, and what they like to do and not like to do. But for me, it was the best job I ever could have had. I mean, I really, really, really enjoyed it.
Well, we really, really appreciate your service, both for the military and as the police.
Thank you. Yes.
Stacy's dad was retired police
Right,
in
Houston.
Houston.
That's awesome.
Yes,
Yeah.
So you probably heard some of the stories and things
Oh,
like that,
sure.
and it's a lot of fun. And and for people out there, I mean, I think the news media sometimes distorts a lot of what's going on with law enforcement nowadays. I'm telling you, like any career, there's always a few people out there that probably shouldn't be doing whatever job they're doing. But
Right.
99% of every police officer you'll meet are some of the most dedicated, down-to-earth people you'll ever meet, and they really, really want to help people. So yeah,
That's awesome.
And those are the people I've worked around with most of the time.
So, coming back to the RV thing here, so you've never RV'd before?
Never.
How did you find your Monaco? How did you decide, over all those overwhelming choices, how did you decide that this is what you wanted?
This
And
actually,
we did go to a lot of RV shows too.
this actually came. We call her Matilda because she's girthy and reliable. But she came to us through a friend of ours who knew about our desire to travel, knew our desire to full-time RV, and he and his wife had purchased a home in Southern California, and it sort of came to it. He didn't come to us, but it sort of came to us that he was selling his motorhome, and knowing him and who he was, and we went to take a look at it, and it was just an incredible coach, and we've been so pleased with her, and it was just a really it just sort of happened, and it felt like destiny for us.
Yeah, that's awesome. Now, when did y'all go full time?
We purchased her in October of 2019. She had some work done at NIRVC in Peoria, Arizona.
Which is a
And-
National Indoor Recreational Vehicle Center, which is based out of Dallas.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is. That's
And
right. That's right.
we
Great folks
took
over
possession.
there.
Yeah,
we
they are
love
great
NIRVC.
we met the cowboy.
Oh,
I
okay.
don't
We
care.
did.
He's
The owner, the CEO,
you know, you
yeah.
know. But we took possession of her back after getting serviced and those types of things in February. She was stored a little bit for a little while, and then we had her sort of checked out, stem to stern. Make
Good.
sure everything is good. We wanted to be really careful about how we were taking her full time on the road. All the systems, were they okay? And they did that. So we took possession of her again in February, and then COVID hit, which was good fun.
Yay, COVID!
We were going to go right in March of 2020,
Yeah.
but we ended up having to delay in Arizona for a few months until June, until things sort of settled down. And we started
June 1st.
June 1st.
June
And
1st.
from June 1st to about September 1st, we did a little over 8,300 miles.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
So y'all really hit the road.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, we initially took off, wanted to go to a place we'd never been to before. Our very first big trip was up to Glacier National Park,
Wow.
and if you've not been there,
Beautiful.
it is stunningly beautiful.
It's definitely on my bucket list.
And then,
We haven't been yet.
and then we
So
went.
great.
Then we went east, and we visited some family in Ohio, and then up into Michigan, and Lake Superior, the Great Lakes area.
Around the thumb.
Get around the
Yeah,
thumb,
that's
and then,
right.
and then worked our way back west again. We went into Devil's Tower,
Oh, yeah.
Wyoming,
Love it.
right? And then, so saw your video there, right?
Yeah.
And then we went into Yellowstone, and then back down to Phoenix. Spent the holidays, still living in Matilda, but spent the holidays in Phoenix because that's where our family is, our grandkids and things like that. And then January the 1st, we hit the road and we ended up in Texas in the middle of a brutal cold snap, and
So-
wanted to come down here to Jamaica Beach and met you guys.
Yeah,
Well,
and
there's a thing here.
Okay.
The reason why we chose Texas to be our first destination in 2021 was because of these guys.
oh,
Yes.
Well, great. So they have us to blame that they were
Stuck in
down
the
here
ice
in the
storm.
worst freeze.
Which on a small side story, we have been following you guys for several years now.
years.
Back
Oh,
when
wow.
we didn't even have an
Ever.
RV, we started watching you guys. I mean, again, not trying to say things on camera, but really, you guys are the most down-to-earth
Yes.
people
Oh.
on the YouTube right now. That's
We
why we really
appreciate
follow
that.
you. You bet.
Thank y'all so much.
You guys have educated us in ways that are really practical, and you know, there's a lot of information out there that's impractical, and we just wanted something that felt like us, and we could travel reasonably and smart and efficiently and all of those types of words. But the reason why I chose Texas truly was because of you guys. You guys made Texas so amazing for us.
Yes.
Oh, wow.
And it made it so
That's
like
awesome.
there's so many things to do here. We've yet to even scratch the surface.
Oh yeah.
But the first, 4 or 5 weeks now, I think we're at 5 or 6 weeks now, have been amazing.
Oh.
Outside
Outside of the freeze.
the
Yeah.
Snowvid 2021.
Now, I do want to circle back to that, but y'all, what a lot of people want to know is, did you sell your house?
Yeah.
How did y'all downsize? How did that go? I mean,
We ended up selling the house and following some other fellow YouTubers. I mean, there's obviously, most people have possessions in your home, certain furniture, maybe it's been passed down from generation to generation, whatever it might be. So we wanted to take products we really wanted to keep and put them in storage.
okay.
So we did that, but even downsizing is a process. I mean,
Right.
this is not something that's going to do in a week or two. I mean, it took us months to
Yeah.
get everything sorted out and where we're going to put it, who wants what, and let's get rid of this, let's keep that. And it took many, many months to get there, but
Yeah.
got all that done. And
We
and
did
then-
it, I think, from when we started the process of decluttering our lives. I guess that's
Yeah,
a
that's
good
a
way
good
of
way
to
saying
say
it.
it.
Yeah.
It took us about 5 months to really do this. And then in the meantime, I was retiring him, which means
Yes.
parties, because that's
right,
what.
you're right in the middle
you
of all
know,
this. I'm retiring after
and,
33 years.
Yeah.
And we were selling a house and we were getting out of the house and those types of things. So it was a lot of stress. It was
Right.
a lot of different projects sort of building up to being homeless.
Yes.
Well,
very
now
best
you
way.
Well, you're not homeless.
No,
You're
homeless.
houseless.
I'm
Houseless. We're houseless. Our home is on axis.
Now, were you retiring as well?
Mhm.
So funny story. I was still employed in the corporate world, and Phil kind of looked at me while we were sort of deciding what to do on this. And we can't do anything if you're still working.
Right.
Yeah.
And he looked at me, and I looked at him, and I said, I guess that'd be all right.
Yeah,
And-
we crunched the numbers and it worked
Yeah.
out, and we figured out we could both retire what we'd saved up, and here we are.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
That's
So
awesome.
I figured, if I wanted to go back to work, I could.
Absolutely.
This is
There's always options
there's
on the road.
always options on the
and
road.
connectivity's getting better and better.
Yes,
also,
it is.
and that makes it easier. Or you could work camp, or there's a lot of options.
There's so many options, and that's what we love about the RV lifestyle is that you're so flexible about what you can do, where you can go, when you go. Last year we had a family member, and it ended up that we needed to be in Ohio. We were there in New York.
Yeah,
that's
And
awesome,
It
isn't it?
wasn't.
Yeah.
There wasn't a question. So we love that. We love being able to go where we want to go and bend our plans to suit our fancy.
Yeah.
And it gives us a lot of just gives us a lot of joy to do.
So
that.
you're still, I mean, even though you started in a pandemic, you're still in a pandemic. You go through the absolute worst freeze in over 100 years
Oh, it's awful.
in
Yeah.
Texas, and
Oh,
they
yeah.
were
Absolutely.
they
It
were
was-
in where were y'all at?
We were in Fredericksburg, Texas,
which is
in the
significantly
country.
north from here.
Yeah, it's colder than we are
Yes.
here.
It got to wind chill -16.
Oh,
That was
lovely.
That was- right.
it was frigid. Our old girl did really, really well.
She did very well.
She had all the great systems, but you know, we learned a lot. Though, you know, you can look at a situation like that and not and learn from it, and that's what we chose to do. We chose to learn from it. What will we do in the next cold snap? What do we need?
Yep.
What did we do well? All of those types of things really helped us learn more about ourselves, our home, our
Yep.
house, our dogs.
Yes, that's
Yeah.
right, because you
Because-
travel
Yeah.
with 2 dogs.
We do
Two
travel
dogs.
with 2 dogs, and they are a consideration with everything that we do.
Right.
They're a consideration because you know they don't have shoes,
Right.
so
Yep.
you know, it's all of those types of things. So
Yep.
Yep.
So far it's going okay.
we love it.
I would say it's great. Yeah, absolutely. Enthusiastic 2 thumbs up. I mean, we really love the lifestyle. We really do.
We're doing things we've never thought we'd do. We're hiking more. Phil
Oh,
It's
No,
all right.
that's okay.
Keep
Keep
going.
going.
we're good.
Phil loves fishing. He's done something in the last 2 days he's never done before,
Yeah.
which is
Surf fishing. When
Yeah.
surf fishing, I've never, sometimes you drive along the ocean, see people out there with rods and reels in the ocean, and I did that a few days ago, and said I'd like to do that. Yesterday, today I did it. Caught
Yeah.
fish too.
There
That's
you go.
awesome.
That's
Yeah.
awesome. And they literally have one of the spots here at Jamaica Beach where they are looking across the road and into the Gulf
Yes.
of Mexico from their front
Yeah.
Yes.
field.
Except right now,
It's a little foggy.
it's a
little
little
foggy.
foggy. We can't quite see it.
Yes.
yeah. You
You
can
know,
hear it.
In
You can
Texas,
see
if
it.
you don't like the weather, wait a minute, it will change.
Yes.
Absolutely.
So in the last week, we've had 80 degrees.
Yes.
We've had 18 degrees.
Yes.
We've had some fog. We've
Yes.
had some sun. A little bit of everything.
A little bit of everything.
And that's what's neat about it is that, you know, we have been living in Arizona for your whole life, me for the last 20 years, but we love the change in weather. So for us, it's okay.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's awesome.
Yeah, we're not.
And their journey is just starting, and you can follow them
Yes.
because
You
they
can.
also have a YouTube channel. Tell everybody about it.
You can. We that was kind of my idea when we started doing this. We started following a lot of people on YouTube, and I thought, you know what? I was looking for something to do when I'm retired, so I said, let's do something I've never done before. Let's become a YouTube vlogger, YouTube content creator. So we started our channel. It's called Blue Line RV Adventures. It's 2 words, Blue Line RV Adventures. Blue line is for the thin blue line of law enforcement, and then RV Adventures. And then what we try to do is we try to do a little bit different than everybody else because no one wants to be exactly the same. So I try to put a little bit of humor into it. I'm not sure if anybody gets my humor or not, but I try to put a little bit of humor into it. But we try to talk a little bit about maybe some discounts for veterans, because I'm a former Navy, and then also for law enforcement, things like that. And then also at times to try to give my overall assessment from someone in law enforcement. Is this a good, safe place to bring your family?
That's a great
Is this
idea.
not a good place, or something like that? Try to get a police officer's perspective on when you're going to travel about the country, because I'm sure you've seen
That's
them
a
as well.
great idea.
Yeah, there are places you've probably gone to RV parks or amusements or whatever and said, you know what, I don't think we're going to go here.
And I always, I say trust your instincts. If
Yes.
it doesn't feel right, you have wheels, you can move.
Right,
Well,
absolutely.
And I saw you even had a video on maybe the proper firearm to take. If
That's
you're
correct.
traveling.
We try to put in different kinds of video. Now those videos get a lot of opinions from people,
Right,
and
yeah,
I
I know.
get that. But yeah, we have videos on about RV defense, and basically, should you bring a weapon, and if you want to bring a weapon, what's the best kind of weapon to bring? We bring one of the bigger questions. Always pops up on these YouTube, Facebook pages in reference to RVs. Is does a police officer need a search warrant to search my RV? So I kind of delved into that a little bit and
Oh,
tried to clear it up a little bit, because, and again, people have a lot of opinions on subjects like
Sure.
that. But I'm just trying to give it perspective, not from literally legal advice of an attorney, but from a police officer who did this stuff for 33 years.
Right. So where all can they follow you? Or that's your YouTube channel, and we'll link them in the description, because you also have travel videos.
Yes.
And that type of thing. I
Yep.
saw y'all were in Lukenbach. And,
Yes.
And all of that as well.
Great.
So are you on Facebook, Instagram?
Yes, we have a Facebook under Blue Line RV Adventures, and we have an Instagram under Blue Line RV
Okay.
Adventures.
So
And
we'll
we have
link to
we
those
have a
as well.
pending website.
There you go.
Pending website.
Okay, so you can watch for that when
Yeah.
that comes online. Awesome. Any bits of advice, real quick, that you'd like to share with anybody who's thinking about either full-time or just RV travel in general that you've learned already?
Well, I'll
Go ahead. Yeah, go ahead
first. you can do it. I mean, honestly,
You just stole exactly what I was going to say.
Yeah.
You can do it because I come from a very traditional background. Always had a home, my family around with me, and doing something like this really puts you in touch with your inner travel person. You see new things, you meet great people.
Absolutely.
You experience things you never would have experienced in a home, in a sticks and bricks home.
Right. Yeah, I've done more things in the last year than I have in the last 10 years, and that's not an exaggeration. And the other thing, I would talk about, just like what she said, is we have two phrases we use, mottos we use for Blue Line RV Adventures. One is "We've got your six," which is a military term that we got your back. If there's a discount out there, something safe, unsafe, whatever, we're going to try to put it out there and let you know what's going on. But the other thing is we started recently doing is that if I can do this, if we can do this, you can do this.
Yeah.
Because we've never owned an RV. And I've got a 43-foot RV right behind me. Tag axle. When I got the Jeep on, it's over 60 feet. I mean, if we can do this, you can do this.
There you go.
Yeah,
that's a
awesome.
great piece of advice.
Thank y'all.
Absolutely.
Yeah, you bet.
No, thank you. I really
thank you.
appreciate you having us on.
Yes.
Oh, absolutely. Thank you for sitting. It is raining on us a
Yeah.
little bit.
I mean,
It is a little chilly. It is a little windy.
If you can see the sign, it's dripping wet over here.
and,
Such a great
and that's
sign.
why I'm not wearing a jacket, by the way, because my jacket is wrapped around the camera.
Yeah.
Tom's out here in shorts.
So thanks so much
Yes.
for joining us,
Yeah.
Shelley. Make sure you stop and give them a follow. Check out some of their videos and their other social media. Leave them a comment. Tell them hello.
Yeah,
And-
we'd
And
appreciate
you guys
that.
also check the comments on this video because I'm sure
Yes.
folks will have questions
Have
for
questions for you.
Thank
you.
you.
And until next time, thanks so much for joining us. We will see you next week. Keep on winging it. Safe travels.
And happy camping.
Bye.
Bye.